Where more than 500,000 people are gathering in the heart of Manila, demanding accountability over corruption in government flood control projects. The massive rally, backed by the influential Iglesia Ni Cristo Church, is being called Transparency for Better Democracy. It is expected to last 3 days and is already one of the largest demonstrations of its kind so far. Crowds have filled the Quirino grandstand, with church leaders emphasizing that this is a peaceful stand not against the government itself, but against corruption that's eroded public trust.
The Philippines is bracing for major rallies later today in Manila and Quezon City as anger grows over a massive corruption scandal involving flood control projects. The issue has struck a nerve in one of Asia's most disaster-prone nations. Protests began in September, but continue after Typhoon Kalmaigi killed at least 232 people last week, with more than 100 still missing. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said many of the 37 lawmakers and business figures implicated could be jailed by Christmas, but his promises have so far failed to ease tensions.
A mass protest in the Philippines over a corruption scandal involving dubious flood control projects. The rally was part of a 3-day protest over the government-funded projects in which contractors allegedly did not do the flood control work they were paid for or didn't do it properly. Anger over the scandal has grown since a typhoon killed more than 200 people this month. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says lawmakers and business leaders implicated in the scandal could be jailed by Christmas.
9月21日、フィリピン各地で政府に対する大規模デモが発生。首都マニラの中心部では朝から多くの市民が集まり、マルコス大統領らを刑務所に送り込めと叫び、プラカードを掲げて抗議しました。デモに参加。
After Indonesia and Nepal, it's now the turn of people in the Philippines to take a stand against corruption. This scandal is closely linked to the fight against climate change. Billions of euros earmarked for flood prevention have been stolen by officials. This summer, severe floods and storms caused widespread damage in the Philippines. This angry campaigner has covered herself in mud to highlight the struggles of the victims.
CNBC's Asia reporter JP Ong is going to help us do a deeper dive into this. Good morning.
Good morning, Martin. We've talked about this a few times actually in the last couple of weeks. This flood control scandal that exposed corruption in the Philippines might actually cause more budget underspending in this country. Now, it's important to note why this is important, because when you take a look at the first half, if you look at the rough calculations about the budget of the Philippines, or government expenditure, is about 17% of the entire country's GDP, give or take. That's based on the first 6 months of this year. So if you start to see budget spending or underspending from the government because of more scrutiny with regards to these disbursements, it might actually lead to slower growth for a country that is regarded as the second fastest growing in Southeast Asia.
In the Philippines now, protesters took to the streets this month to call for justice and accountability in their government. The protest coinciding with a declaration of martial law more than 50 years ago by former dictator Ferdinand Marcos Sr., the father of the current president. Faith leaders joined the crowd to denounce corruption and pray for national transformation. Asia correspondent Lucille Toulousan reports now.
In Manila, Filipinos marched furious over what they call deeply rooted and systemic government corruption. This latest
kami para manawagan na tama na, sobra na, tigilan natin ang korupsyon. Actually, isa po ako sa nakaranas ng baha sa Valenzuela. May time...
For a 3-day rally against government corruption in the Philippines capital, Manila. Demonstrators are demanding accountability over a flood control corruption scandal that involves powerful members of Congress and top government officials. An internal audit released by the government in August showed that out of the nearly $15 billion spent on flood control, thousands of projects were substandard, incomplete, or simply did not exist.
These protesters are using the crocodile as a symbol of greed and corruption to show their anger towards politicians and businesses in the Philippines. They accuse lawmakers and contractors of misusing public funds destined for flood control to pay for kickbacks, substandard construction, and uncompleted ghost projects. The allegations have resurfaced in recent weeks after the Philippines was hit by deadly floods, which caused significant damage in the north of the country.
March 2025 pa lang, si Speaker ay nagpaparinig na sa akin sa aming meeting that he will shoot me if I will talk. At pagkatapos niyang sabihin sa akin,
streets of Manila once again, nearly 2 months after some of the most violent protests the Philippine capital had seen in years. This latest round of mass demonstration led by a church known for its political sway, and now furious at how the government has been conducting investigations into suspected corruption linked to flood control projects.
A lot of people are getting flooded because of the corruption, and as a result, people are dying.
Sunday's rally took place barely 2 weeks since Typhoon Kalmegi triggered flash floods in the central Philippines. More than 200 people died and many remain missing. In Cebu in particular, embankments failed to prevent rivers from overflowing.